Hello, Maria. Hello, Heinz Gert. Another
Hi, nice to meet you.
close, yeah, another close encounter. And this time we have a very, of course, we always have very special guests, but this time this is really very special because Heinz Gert is organizing the JIG 2020 in Germany. And so we are very
22, 21.
20, oh, 21? Oh,
22.
22.
I'm right. Yes.
It's 22. So, but today is 21. So that's right, Maria. So we are very anxious to hear from Heinz Gert how everything is going, and we want to get to know you a little bit more better because you've been a long time a member of the IBF, and I first met you in India, I believe that was my first jig, and I was struck by your your whole appearance, your the way you are the breath to me. You look, oh, this man knows everything about the breath. So I was really impressed by you. So I didn't share this with him before, but now you know. So
Thank
I'm
you.
very pleased to do this interview with you together with Maria. And well, maybe we can start the first question already, and that's
Sounds good.
what is your breathwork story, Heinz, and how did breathwork find you, or how did
Mm,
you find breathwork?
mm. Well, that probably is a long story or a short story. It depends on how we're going with it. Because like now, I thought about it, and it's nearly half of my life. I'm a breath worker now. So like it was long time ago in my youth. I was living in Australia, and at that time I was working for Universal Events. A friend of mine, she was organizing seminars and workshops at that time. And we organized, for example, like John Bradshaw. This was very new about the inner child, and Anthony Robbins coming out for the very first time from America, and Louise Hay, Wayne Dwyer, and so on and so on. And for this workshop with John Bradshaw, he said, well, okay, we got 200 participants. I need 100 emotionally skilled supporters. And okay, emotional skilled supporters, how are we going to do it? And then Karen, she said, oh, we just get all the rebirthers and breath workers from the whole East Coast. So like we had like breath workers from Brisbane to Sydney, and we got those 100 together, or nearly, or something. And that's where it all started, because I mean, I used to live in Asia for quite a while, and I spent a lot of time in Asia, and I already got connected to yoga, and I got connected to Vipassana meditation very intensively, and I also got connected to Tai Chi. I used to live on a Tai Chi community for a long time, and there was already exposure to breath, but not really in that way. And Jonine Lee, I don't know if you remember her. She's also a chick she's also an IBF member. She was one of those emotionally skilled breath workers, and she said to me, and I will never forget that. She said to me, "Well, you should be breathing." It's like, and we know all this when we say to someone, "You should breathe." Well, I'm already doing it. Why? And she had this wonderful sentence. She said, "Well, with this type of breath work, you can resolve your past. You can create yourself a new future, and you learn to live in the here and now." And that got my attention. So like I thought, wow, this is a wonderful thing. And then she said, well, I know this man, Michael Adamidis. He was one of the senior teachers together with Denise Burgess in Australia at that time. Michael Adamidis, he's also in the 80s now. We talked about age before. And they had an intensive course. And, I'm quite an intensive person, so intensive course sounded good to me. And it was every Wednesday evening, every Thursday evening, and every weekend for 10 weeks. And I mean, this was a pressure cooker. It was just like, it was like full on. And I didn't know what hit me, by the time, but after about 5 weeks, I looked around and in the room during a session, and Australians are quite expressive at times, and the whole place was like heaving, and there was like all kinds of emotions, and then I looked around and said, wow, I think I found something. And this seems to work for everybody, because for me also, I had like it was an intense time for me in that period of time, and there was a lot of preparation done during that intensive training. And
Wow.
yeah, and because I liked it, I joined the training, and that was my very first breathwork training, not having in mind to teach that late. That was just purely for myself and having experienced the beauty of that.
And that was in
1993.
Wow.
1993.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
wow.
yes,
30 years ago
1993.
almost. Yeah.
A long time. Yeah.
Mm.
So
And it definitely is a universal thing, you know, breath work, the breathing, the connection that you find. It's so universal. And what I wanted to ask though, Heinz-Gerd, is what do you mean? Can you explain? Can you talk about what you mean with emotionally skilled people? What is that? What do you mean
well,
with that?
well, basically it's doing breath work. You get in contact with like whatever is still in you and is unresolved. And we all have like sort of, some have very tumultuous lives, some have more calm lives, but everybody has their own story, everybody has their own hurts.
Yeah.
Growing up with parents, brings a certain amount, going to school brings up a certain amount.
Yeah.
Having a love life, there's everybody has like some kind of emotional impact which they might have resolved or not,
Yeah.
but most people never really get to it, and so you walk around carrying a bag of unresolved emotions. And like with breath work, this is like working like an inner shower, and allows that to sort of wash out, come to the surface, and the surface is the consciousness, is awareness. And when you bring the breath and awareness together, then it is possible to re-experience and to release all those of those experiences. Maybe not all, but like a lot of it. And what the result is, that you are actually standing or connecting to more who you are, and also that possible traumatic experience have furthers your personal growth, your transformation, and you develop a completely different view about it, and you become able to support people in emotional turbulent moments, just by who you are, and that you can talk about it freely. And then the people, they can relax into it, they can share with it, and then the breath comes to it, and then just out it goes. So
Yeah.
we have like a very, very fast transformation in people due to breath work.
And that kind of links into my second question, Heinz-Gerd, because if you say that you release all these emotions and these experiences, have you witnessed anything that could be described as a miracle or the magic of breath work? So how do you experience, how do you view that? How do you live through that? Have you stories to tell us that could be like a remarkable
Well, I mean, on one level, every session is a remarkable occurrence. And, like about privacy, I can't really talk too much about people, but, the people, like women who had like really intense abuse stories. And within 20 sessions, they were able to resolve that, having a partnership and to marry. And, like, I mean, I think that's a miracle. And whenever you connect to, well, something which is very deep in you, and you are able to connect to something which is higher to you in a relevant way, and you get a spiritual experience of like a heart opening. I mean, that's a miracle, and that's beautiful, and it prepares you to become more of who you are. So like I can't really pick this one session or something.
Is that how you inspire future clients, or how do you approach people who are not sure what breathwork can do for them?
Yeah, so like I ask people, well, where are you at in your life right now? Are you really happy with whatever there is? And I mean, nobody's really totally happy with whatever there is. And then we look at the how is it all made up? Like when we are born, like we grow up kind of randomly, whatever. And in school we learn mathematics and reading and writing or something like this, but nobody teaches you how to feel, how to express, how to communicate, how to cope with what is going on. So people come and they come at usually they come at certain key points in their life and they realize, oh, this is not working for me, that is not working to me. And then the way how I look at things is, okay, well, what are the thoughts around that? What are the emotions around that? And what is your physical structure doing with that? Because it's so interlinked, emotion to thoughts to the physical structure. So if you come with an ailment, well, okay, you know, what is the psychosomatic reason about that? If you come with emotional upheaval, well, what are you thinking about this event or yourself? And or if you have like negative thoughts like panic attacks and things like that, then what is the impact on you? So we find the access point, which is the most predominant or the easiest for that client to go to, and then we work on the whole picture. And I find that people within, you know, it's like, I understand something. And this works really well for me. If I understand something, I nearly have it released. Not everybody is like that. Some people, they come and they sit on a huge baggage of emotions, tears or rage or anger or like whatever it is. And then we work with that. It's individual approach, but basically we look at body, mind, and soul.
Yeah.
The complete picture, the bigger picture. Thanks, Heinz-Gert.
And Heinz, so
to add maybe one thing, sorry,
that's
is
okay.
like what I like and what has changed from those times in 1993 when we said like, oh yeah, this is great, it works, fine, try this. You know, now we have science on our side. And this is really important, and that is something which I'm also bringing into the work with the clients, you know, like explaining to them why it happens and what happens and how you can actually, you know, change the emotional receptors, you know, the endorphin receptors in your body, how neural networks, how it works in the brain, what kind of brain waves did you get your storage, and how does that work? So like that is a really a great help now, because it opens breathwork up to people who usually might have not, you know, sort of it's a hippie thing of breathing. What can they do or something, you know?
And I think that right now, because of also of the Corona crisis, I noticed myself personally as a breath worker that the breath is becoming more mainstream. And so to go to the JIC, because you're organizing the JIC next year, I was wondering if do you expect more people that would come to your JIC, or because of the mainstream, or how do you see that? Is it more accessible to the public? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, we don't really know what people do with the obvious, you know. So like on one level, there is much more awareness about breathing and breath now. At the same time, there's a huge wave of long COVID people coming. But you know, people usually they go to a doctor and they think this is an illness, and you know they're not really prepared to sort of look a little bit in a wider picture. So I think where we are coming in is now that we have to support sort of ordinary, non-breathing, non-emotionally interested people. They just have this affliction, this physiological thing, that we can teach them to have trust in their natural breath again, and sort of work with that, have some exercises ready, and sort of an easy access point for a lot of people. And then when they have experienced, wow, you know, like the breath can change really something in me, then they will be more open to come and join. I mean, I had one person calling me up, and you could call that a miracle. And she called up and said, oh, I've got this blood pressure, and you know, and like I can't breathe and all this. And I taught her coherent breathing over the phone. And I said, do like this, do like that. And in the evening, they called me up and said, it's working. My blood pressure is down. I can breathe again. It's like amazing.
You know? Hallelujah.
When was your first JIC, Heinz-Gert, by the way?
My first JIC goes back a long time. 1997. I was, like quite at the beginning. This was the first JIC in Austria. You know, Wilfried Ehrmann organized it then, and it was so inspiring. And I think, you know, this is the reason why I'm in the IBF. and why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Mhm.
Because we came there, and I don't remember how many people were there, but it was like from all over the place. There were from Russia to America. You know, it's like, you know how the jig is.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it was so interesting. And see, when I came from Australia, there was a community of breath workers, and then I came to Germany, and because family history and different things to resolve, and I was not really connected to anybody because I've been sort of abroad for 20 years, and then
Mhm.
and Tilke and Hans, they took me under their wings because a friend of mine, she actually did the training with them. And then
Mhm.
they said, okay, you know, you don't have Australian community, come and join. So I
Mm.
joined there, and I did also training and trainers training there, which by the way is my second breath work. I've done 7 now, 7 trainings.
Mhm.
And then she suggested, I think she was there as well, we were together. And for this jig, and I said, okay, great. And then there was so many people, so there
Mhm.
was such like a family experience even then
Yeah.
in those times, and connected to so many people, and also to English people, because like later on I lived in England and had a school in England, so it was like a really great opening. So 1997 was definitely a key opening, because at that time I decided, wow, this is amazing. You know, I gotta bring this to Germany one time. Okay, it's taken a while, but you know, like, but eventually I think it's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think one of those jigs you visited after 97 was really special to you because you've met someone
Yes,
very
Very
lovable in your
important.
life.
yes.
Mm.
So
Can you share
2008.
something of the romance?
Yes.
Mhm.
I'd be very happy because this is my romance of my life, and it's still, you know, is the romance of my life. Sweet
Yeah.
Lyra, you already know her.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Most of you will know her. Okay, 2008. At that time, we had the biggest breathwork school in the UK. So always about 40, 50 people in sort of year 1, year 2, year 3, different kind of stages. And Natalia Bennett organized the event
Mhm.
together with Mark Conrad, and like
Mhm.
we also helped in organizing and the opening ceremony and all that. And basically, it was a just before the conference started, it was a very traumatic time for me, because my then wife decided to leave with my assistant trainer of that time, and I kind of, this was
Mm.
3 weeks before the jig, and I kind of fell into a huge hole. It was like,
Mm.
I mean, I was a walking pain body, if you can
Mhm.
experience, you know.
Ow.
And I came to that jig, and you know, there were people, they knew me for many years. They were standing beside me and they didn't recognize me. I was like
Mm.
really, it was so
Oh.
intense for me.
Mhm.
And I had doubts about, you know, like, because I was accused of this, and I'm a bad person, and I'm this, and I took it all in. And
Mm.
so it was a really intense moment of self-inquiry, um, and then the jig opened up. And you know how we do families
Mhm.
in
Yeah.
so that you have people you can relate to, first in pairs, then in 4, and then 8. And I a lot happened for me, not even, you know, being fully aware, because I was so focused on myself and, you know, all those things. And then this family, we were sitting in a circle, and across of me there was sitting Lyra, and she looked at me with these eyes. You know, I still
Mhm.
call her
I know her
golden
eyes.
eyes. You know,
Yes.
it's just
She's
like,
got the eyes.
Yes, she
and
does.
she looked at me, and something got touched in me so deeply,
Mhm.
you know. And I was understanding, no, I'm a lovable, I'm a livable, you know,
Mhm.
I'm okay as a human, because
Mm.
that was put in doubt. I was like an ogre.
Oh.
Condemn.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. So like, and that's what happened, you know. 3 weeks after the most traumatic, you know, like the light went on again, and I met
Again.
Mm.
Sarah, and now she's my partner, my wife, you know, we do all the work together, and it's amazing,
Mm.
and it was the best thing that could happen. you know, but because I would have never been open to
Mhm.
a new relationship or something, because I thought, you know, everything was cool, calm, and collected till
Mhm.
till it wasn't.
Oh, wow.
and
Nice.
and
Yeah.
then in the end, you know, we connected, and for her it was a huge life shift. For me, it was a huge life shift, and for everybody connected to each other also, it was
Mhm.
like God decided, okay, let's do a different kind of a game now. And I gave a speech about it, you know, like a keynote lecture on the last day, and I told them, well, you know, like this is a storytelling about you know, a man who thought he had it all
Mhm.
ordered and everything cool, and then this happens and that happens and this happens and that happens, and sort of with the idea, well, if you had 3 weeks to live, would you still be with the same partner? Would you
Mhm.
still do the same work? If you would you still be, you know, like doing,
Mhm.
would you be in a different country? What would you be doing?
Yeah. Mhm.
And they actually voted it as the most inspirational talk of the
Wow.
conference or something like
Yeah.
that. So,
That's
but
wonderful.
it came straight from
From the
heart.
heart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
And now it's Jig 2022, Heinz Gert.
Yeah, JIG
Mm.
2022. It's going to be a big event. I
Mm.
mean, you know, Corona or not Corona, uh, I I'm holding a positive picture about it.
Yes.
Mhm.
We still organizing for 350 people. Um, what we've done though is like we organize it in a way that it's going to be a bubble event. A bubble event means that we put a bubble over the jig. That means, you know, whoever comes in is going to be negatively tested, so you know we can be openly close to each other. I mean, the whole place is actually easy because there's about 378 single rooms. You know, everybody can have a single room with their own
Mhm.
bathroom and their own toilet, and which is sort of a hygiene thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then the aula is like huge. We can sit apart, and the main connecting events going to happen in a huge gym hall, you know, where we could really 300 people could stand 1.5 meters apart, not touch each other, and it would still be
Wow.
possible.
Huge.
So, but you know, this is not how it's
Mhm.
going to happen. But you know,
No,
and
no,
we
but the
also
safety is there. People can feel safe to come.
Yeah. It's
exactly,
important.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that everybody's going to come in, be negatively tested, and then we can relate with each other. I had a talk to the venue just the other day, and they said, "Yep, we can do that. You will have to apply with the city town hall,
Mm-hmm.
and then they will give you permission, and then we can actually do that." And so, you know, we think it's going to be all okay. The venue is beautiful. It's easy. It's you can access it by public transport. Even, you know, you fly into Munich, you get the train, you
Mhm.
get the bus, and you're in front of it. And then the back is
Oh,
just
cool.
green and open,
Mhm.
and it's quite environmental friendly. Everything. It's a lot of wooden plants and things, and a lot of, and they're very friendly. They're very happy. They're happy to have us, and they are usually. Um, there is courses where, you know, it used to be I don't know, Sparkassen, don't know how to translate it
Bank
into,
and a
it's
savings
a
bank.
like cash like
Oh,
mini
Ah,
banks where
yeah.
people
bank.
savings account, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and all the workers, they go there and they get their teaching, and you know, and others, and all that, and it developed from that into a sort of a
Hmm.
more open place, and they are keen to have us, and yeah, everything looks really really good for it. I'm quite
Nice.
happy.
Yeah, we can't wait to come to Germany.
Mm.
And it's in August, right?
It's
August.
in August, 6th of
Yeah.
August till the 13th of August. It's a
Yeah.
Saturday to a Saturday.
Mhm.
So we done it like this because sometimes it's from Sunday to Sunday. But I thought, well, people could stay a little and or fly out in ease or
Yeah.
something like this.
Yeah.
We also have a couple of really interesting post jig tours, you know, day tours, which could be you know, very close to the venue. There's the biggest spa in Europe, if not in the whole world,
Excellent.
Oh.
and it's, you know, it's
Oh.
like
Nom
with
nom nom
palm
nom nom nom
trees, and
nom.
it's like
Oh.
amazing.
Oh,
and and the same place has a brewery, so it could be combined
Oh,
with
I was
something like that.
I was going to ask about the
perfect
Oktoberfest,
setting.
maybe
Yes,
an
yes,
Augustfest.
yes,
No
yes.
need to
So,
wait for October, I think.
no, yeah, no. This is in August, and then we like castle tours and mountain tours and lake tours and all this,
Yeah, it looks
because the
lovely.
whole area of Bavaria is so pretty, so
Wow.
Yeah.
beautiful, and it's so
Yeah.
varied, and so like people will have a good time to sort of see all that and experience all
Yeah.
that.
Sounds
And
fabulous.
yeah, so we're going to the one of the final questions of this interview, Heinz-Gert. So the International Breathwork Foundation, it's a beautiful organization, and what I'm curious about is what do you wish for the IBF in the future? How do you see it? Do you have any
If you had a
thoughts, feelings?
magical wand, what would be the IBF tomorrow? Yeah.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay. Well, we have already a lot of participants or members from different countries, but I would wish that, sort of that basically in every country there's a possibility for people. See, like what we've also done in Germany is we got inspired by the British Rebirth Society and by the Austrian Society, and we also founded our own Breathwork Foundation now,
Mhm.
which is it's in the third year now, and it's growing to, we've got about 60 members now, and it's growing. So like what I would
Oh,
wish is that every country who is connected to the IBF would have a Breathwork Foundation where they start collecting.
yeah.
And then maybe even, like, okay, we have one jig now, but like maybe it'd be okay to have a jig in America, to have a jig in Europe, to have a jig in Australia, or something like that, so that
Mhm.
people have more access. Because traditionally it's like this, that the jig, most people from the surrounding areas, that they are the
Mhm.
They
majority,
join. Yeah.
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
other people are
True.
traveling in. And although we try to keep it sort of financially affordable, if you have,
Mhm.
let's say, like you and your partner, or you and your partner and your child, and then you have 3 flights and all, it adds up.
Very expensive. Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
maybe like that. But I
Mhm.
would like that the IBF and breathwork itself would be sort of recognized as something really important for the world.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
this is what we're doing on a national basis, and IBF is doing on an international basis, but breathwork is still marginal. I mean, we got so many gifts and so many possibilities to offer. So I would want that it spreads even more than it is doing
Mhm.
now, that it
Mhm.
grows exponentially.
Exponentially. Nice word.
And it's like, yeah, and then
Yeah.
it can touch more and more people, and
Mhm.
more
Yeah.
That's
people
the thing. Yeah.
understand how key is the breath. Because
Mhm.
okay,
Mm.
without eating you can go for quite a while, without drinking you can go
Mhm.
for a while, but without breathing 5 minutes it's over.
Nope.
It's done.
That's it.
And people, because it's so automatic, and it's so, people don't have an attention about it, and it just,
Yeah.
well, breathing, it's happening anyway. So, but why are you breathing as you breathe, and why are you breathing differently, and why you cannot breathe freely, and why, these are really
Mm.
key questions I think everybody should have a look at.
Mhm.
Nice.
And the
Well,
IBF is doing its job.
sorry.
And the IBF is doing its job about it.
Yeah,
Yes.
we are. We are working
UN
on it.
connected,
Yeah.
and it's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Thank you very much, Heinz-Gert, for this interview. And we would, well, I can't wait to hug you in real life in August. And to
We're holding the vision of the jig together, and stay positive. It has to
Yes.
happen. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Thank
I'm
you,
looking
Heinz-Gert.
forward to the talent show, because
oh, talent show. Oh.
yes, because
Yes, Maria and I already talked about a nice sketch for the
okay,
German,
cool.
a German version. So
okay,
get ready.
okay.
Du bist
So
alles, was ich habe. Okay, we don't have to give away
We're not
too
going to
much.
spoil anything.
No.
yeah. So
Okay.
we're trying to get away from Blasmusik and sausage image, like, well, let's see how we can
Spoil
but it is still there.
anything,
Okay,
Thank
you
thank
for
you very much.
Heinz-Gert.
And
Thank you for having me, and happy to contribute. Lots of love,
yeah,
and I hope that people will have, that they're not afraid to come to Germany, that
No.
it will be safe. The venue is great. We've got a fantastic program. We didn't talk about the program. We got really good speakers. There will be a concert every day. There
Oh,
will be,
wow.
dancing and lots of things. This is super. Yeah, yeah.
Sounds
Fantastic
amazing. I
concert.
can't wait.
Okay, so now we have to wrap up this interview and say bye, everybody, and tschüss. Tschüss,
Tschüss.
Heinz Gerd. See you
Yeah,
next
Talk
time.
take
soon.
care. Lots of
Bye-bye.
love.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.